We can never beat Western civilization at war. That's because we can never be as savage as them. Anything you can do, they can go a step further. Like Hiroshima. They will show you they will destroy a whole nation, and they don't care. They don't have rules. The rest of us have rules, like don't kill women, don't kill children, don't kill the elderly, don't kill priests and monks, don't kill learned men. But no, these people, they say they have rules of engagement, the rules-based order, but as we are all witnessing in the world, we know that that's just a say, that's just things they say. They actually don't have any rules. They will kill your entire family, they will rape your father, they will rape your brother, they will kill your whole family, they will do everything under the sun. They will eat them, they will put them in concentration camps, they will rape them with dogs, they will do everything conceivable that you can think of. Every worst fucking diabolical thing. Think of the CIA torture chambers and what the CIA does to these two people. These are the worst people on the planet. So there's no way you can outwin them. Because you can never be as savage as a white person. They just too, there's no rules for these people. They're animals. These are the worst people on the planet. So there's no way you can outwin them. Because you can never be as savage as a white person. They just too, there's no rules for these people. They're animals. There's no humanity inside of them. You understand? So that when they think they conquered the world, they dominated the world. When I say dominated, it means the rest of us weren't as savage, as barbaric to let ourselves be that inhumane. But they were. And so they were able to dominate survival of the fittest, as Darwin said, a European. That the survival of a species is dependent on their ability to dominate other species, to be better than them, physically, stronger. So as long as they can bomb you and kill you, they don't care. That's why they invented the nuclear bomb, because that's as far as they will go. They will destroy the whole world if they have to. So we can never win them, because do we win with these people if they will actually use the nuclear bomb? And we know they will, because they're insane. There's no humanity in these people. You understand? The best we can try and do is try and appease them somehow, try and give them some stuff, because that's what they like, stuff. You know, they like to extract things like the big hole of Kimberley. In Kimberley, that's an example of their legacy. To extract until things are finished like a virus. You know, they're a virus to this planet. They don't know how to just take and leave. Take some and leave some. They want to take fucking everything.
If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape-gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out?
Leave nothing for anyone, but to take, like greedy, fucking scavenge. I don't understand what these people are. That's who they are. If you understand that they will destroy everything. Like we believe the devil comes after human beings because he has an agenda with us, and he will take down, because God cursed him, he will take down every single human being. That's why people, if they can't get what they want, they will bring down the whole world. They will destroy the whole world. I'm telling you, they will use nuclear bombs because they are insane. That's who these people are. So don't talk to them like they are normal human beings with empathy, with kindness, with some sort of goodness in their hearts. These are people that you can't win by speaking like human beings to them. You need to speak barbarian. You need to speak fucking, I don't understand their violent nature. They pretend, this outward, it's a pretend. You need to understand. It's a thing that they say. They like the rules they make. They say there's rules, but they don't follow any of the rules. We thought we were dealing with human beings, but we're dealing with animals. Worse than animals. Because at least animals, you know an animal. They're worse than animals. Because they went all over the world and were savage with everything, including animals. That's why we even have endangered species, because they don't know how to take and leave. They're like viruses. So we can never win them. The best we can try and do is cooperate in some way and appease them by giving them stuff. Savage.
Greetings from the east to north to south, and this wicked ass west. Part 2, the need for White History Month. The questions. why you think all the nations of the world know white history except them. Let's get into it. I'm your host. I am the one.
A quote from Maya Angelou. She made a statement: if a person or persons show you who they are, believe them. One thing I notice about these good Christian white people is when I talk to them, and I'm thinking to myself, you must be joking, but they are dead serious. I heard a person on the radio, I think Glenn Beck, and he was, I guess he's in Britain right now, maybe, I think it was Britain. I can't quite remember. But my point is, they were talking about the Chinese and how barbaric the Chinese are. And Glenn Beck was making statements about how they mistreat their people. Now, of course, years ago, Glenn Beck made a statement about Israel, and he had to walk it back because Israel is committing mass genocide on a level that was never, ever committed before. Now, they may talk about the Holocaust, and they'll say a handful of people, 6 million people, so they say, were murdered. But yet they turn around and they do the same identical thing. But here's the thing. Glenn Beck, he won't make no statement about the genocide that is being committed in Israel. You know why? Because they pay his salary. And when I listened to this man talk earlier today on the radio, I couldn't believe it. He's talking about the Chinese. But in his own backyard, almost as if he don't see what is happening. Here in America, almost he don't see what's happening. All the atrocities that the Israelis and Americans are committing in Iraq, Iran, Palestine, Africa, the Philippines. We can go on and on with the nations that they decide to disrupt and impose sanctions. Now, of course, we know they stole $3 billion from the Russians. $3 billion. And we're going to freeze your assets. Really? The mother of all sanctions. Really? Are you serious? They have taken so much from every single nation. And of course, if you get out of line, they'll bomb you. And with a straight face, when I talk to these good Christian white people, all those atrocities, they never even mention. I heard a guy say once, this good Christian white man, he was white, of course, he said this. He said, everything they do, they wear a white hat, as if everything they do is right. You know, there's no place in their, what's the word I'm looking for? In everything that they do, there's no place for anything that they do is wrong. They'll never see it that way. I have 2 clips. One, a white man from Middle Nation. This guy can talk. This guy can really talk. Now, I know I talk about white people a lot, but this guy, he can really, truly talk. And one is a young black man. And they're going to talk about the things that America does, because I'm simply not qualified. These people know history. And let's go to the next clip.
I'm telling you, most Americans, and by most Americans, I mean mostly so-called white Americans, they get upset. They get upset when they see my talks. They get all sorts of negative emotions when I talk about the dismantling of America, the decline of America, the collapse of the United States, and so forth, the downgrading, the demotion of America as a global power. They get sad. They get hopeless. They get depressed, or they get defensive, or they get despondent. And I understand why. I understand why, because it has historically been their system. They got enough benefit from that system to make them actually believe more deeply in the myths around that system. Because of course it was a myth. It's always been a myth. It's never been anything but a myth. But they believed in it. The truth is they didn't enjoy benefits in that society because of democracy and freedom. They enjoyed benefits in that society because of mass murder. They enjoyed benefits in that society because of pillage, because of slavery and piracy and exploitation, and because of war and brutality. But they always thought that Uncle Sam was on their side, you see? They thought that they were the favorite nephew of their Uncle Sam. So when they see Uncle Sam, or when they hear me talk about Uncle Sam being amputated piece by piece, it grieves them. You understand me? So I understand why the erosion of America, or the erosion of the myth of America, I understand why that bothers them and why they get all up in arms about it. I understand it. I understand why they get depressed. I understand why their feelings get hurt. There is no more indoctrinated people. There's no more brainwashed and no more psychologically and culturally misprogrammed people on the face of this earth than so-called white Americans. I've talked about that before. Like I say, the marauder mentality, the lack of development and so on, the lack of civilization and what have you. The overwhelming majority of them, the truth of the matter is, the overwhelming majority of them throughout history have only ever been serfs, and they're still serfs until today. And the truth of the matter is that they don't actually have a stake in that system either. They don't have a stake in the system either. The system doesn't care about them either. That's the fact. But to one extent or another, they have benefited from it, and more importantly, they identify with it, right? When the United States sends someone to the moon, they'll say, "We landed on the moon." When the U.S. attacks another country, they'll say, "We are at war. We are at war." When they talk about the American economy, they say, "Our economy," and so on. It's like a fan of a sports team or something. The fan of a sports team who imagines that he has some kind of a share in it anytime that team wins a game. You see, they identify with the American project as their project. So when that project degrades, they identify that degradation with themselves. It's personal. They take it personally. There's a sense of loss. There's a sense of disappointment. There's a sense of panic. But like I said before, what's happening in America is the onshoring of previously offshore colonization and extraction. And that's going to be applied across the board to all demographics. The neoliberal economic programs that they used to use to plunder countries all across the global south are now being applied at home, and that's going to intensify, and no one is going to be spared. You need to know that. No one is going to be spared. No one is going to have, protected hands-off status, because this is not being done for the sake of America. It's being done for the sake of a national capital. It's being done for the sake of the national owners and controllers of global financialized capital who have completely untethered themselves from any sort of nationalism. They've untethered themselves from any sort of patriotism or any sense of investment in the old obsolete priorities of the American power structure. Well, who depended on that power structure all this time? What demographic depended on the power structure? Which one relied on the backing of that power structure all this time? Who's been the priority? What demographic group has been the priority of the power structure all this time? Who's always actually had the real protected, the real privileged status in that society? That's going away. Look, when I go through my comment section, who do you think I see? Who do you think I see most often talking about, "I have to get out of this country. I'm planning on moving out of this country"? Who do you think is melting down? Who do you see having meltdowns on social media, in public, screaming at their phone camera, crying at their phone camera, yelling, weeping, begging for someone to come, for anyone to come and save them, begging for someone to come and fix things, to lead them, to rescue them? Well, you obviously know who it is. You know which people are doing that. It's the same people who never built anything for themselves. It's the same people who never had to build anything for themselves. I'm not saying this as a put down. Understand, I'm not saying this as a put down. is just another data point. This is what I'm telling you. It's another data point. I'm saying that the way that that country is going, the direction that that country is going, the skill set of the oppressed is going to have a massive advantage over the skill set of the privileged.
He was really making an extremely good point. He was making a good point, but this thing is running a bit too long. I've already reached my 15-minute limit, so therefore I'll make a part 3. Thank you for watching. I am your host. I am the one.